What's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in. I got options. All right. No bullshit advice on how to make $10,000 online and live in Japan full time remotely. Um, this video is mainly for people who are on long term visa status holders in Japan, whether you are a Japanese person, a citizen, obviously, you are an international who converted to Japanese citizenship, you're someone who has permanent residency, PR, or you're on a spousal visa, or you're a spouse of somebody who is on permanent residency, then this video is for you. If you fall anywhere outside of these categories, whether you're on a work visa, you're a student, just click off now because this video is not for you. It's just going to waste your time. And so now that that's all out of the way, I tried a lot of different ways to make money online before I finally quit all three of my jobs that I was working in Japan. Um, and I started to make way more money. Okay, so I'm making $10,000 monthly, and before I got to this point where I could have more money, have more time, and really just enjoy my life more, I tried a lot of different things. Okay, I've tried vlogging, I've tried YouTube commentary, I've done online English teaching lessons, I've tried e-commerce and drop shipping. I've tried everything. Okay, I've tried more than that too, but those are just a few of those things that I mentioned. Um, Vlogging was great. Vlogging is really fun. It's really more of a passion and a hobby than it is to, it it takes a lot of time investment to really start making money fast. If you're gonna do something like vlogging and personal branding, it takes time. So that didn't work out at that time. I had to hang that up. I've tried YouTube commentary, which I was getting paid not so bad. I was getting like 60,000 yen monthly doing that. It gave me a lot of flexibility. It gave me a lot of, you know, opportunity for me to work remotely to do that. But the problem was that the money was just always capped. And I definitely wanted, I needed, not even just wanted, but I needed more money to support, lifestyle, to support having a living. So YouTube commentary, that was ruled out. I've tried online English teaching, and this is good too. If you're a private, if you're doing private lessons, you can charge whatever you feel you value your lessons to be at. So if you're doing it yourself, you definitely have more control over your earning potential. Um, but then that means if you're doing like a private lesson, you're only just teaching one person at a time, and if you're not having a lot of students doing that, then you know there's only so much time that you can really allocate towards that if you want to make some good money. So online English teaching, that also I had to rule that one out as well, um, because of those things. And then when it comes to doing something like e-commerce, doing drop shipping, people make a lot of money doing this, and it's still very much lucrative, but it's not beginner friendly. Okay, running an e-commerce store, running an online shop, running ads, running the business, managing inventory, managing people as well, because there's a lot of moving parts. This is not beginner friendly. If you want to go down the e-commerce route, and I've tried it before, and it's just there's a lot of complications that go along with it. And so, what is the best method? What is the best way to make online money and have more flexibility, have more financial strength, have more location freedom so that you can live life remotely and just do whatever the fuck you want, wherever you want to do it? For me, what I found after all this time searching, trial and error, doing all these different things, I came across high ticket sales. And basically, in a nutshell, you are just a representative of a company or an influencer online. You're repping their brand and you are connecting with a buyer. Okay, someone who's already interested in whatever it is that you're providing value for. You're going to be the representative on behalf of the influencer or the company. And once you provide value to that already interested buyer, and then you get a commission off of that sale. Okay. The reason why I say that this is the best method to make money online, to make money fast, right? Not like vlogging or personal branding where you got to really build an audience who are, you know, all that stuff. You don't have to learn stuff like Facebook ads or marketing or whatever. You're not running a business. You're just learning one simple skill. Okay. You're just going to hyper focus and simplify everything just by focusing on that one thing. Okay. That one skill, which is sales, and communication. It's basically just the skill and the art of connecting and communication. So one skill. Okay. It's not overwhelming. You're focusing on one thing. Um, why else do I feel that high ticket sales is the best method? Is because it gets easy when you do this simple thing of just aligning yourself with what you are now, what you do already, and what you're already naturally good and skilled at or have passion in. Okay? That if you align yourself with that, your values and who you are to a niche that you feel, you know, incongruency with, it's going to be so much easier for you to um, you know, vibrate off that conviction, right? I'll give you an analogy. It's like if you're like look at all the different animals in the world. You got animals that go in the sky, you've got animals on the ground, and you've got animals in the ocean. Okay, a monkey is not going to be a good swimmer, but a fish is definitely going to be a good swimmer, right? A bird is not going to be a good digger, right? A bird is meant to be in the sky and fly around and do whatever the fuck birds do. And diggers, who are like moles and hedgehogs and, um, you know, other kinds of earthworms, all these animals are good for the soil and they're good for the ground. Okay. You have to know what kind of animal you are and what habitat you function the best in. That's basically you just sticking to your guns, sticking to your strengths, and you're just naturally following the alignment. Okay? Don't make that mistake that a lot of people do when they go into high ticket sales and they start chasing the money. And I know this sounds really weird because we're talking about money, right? We're talking about making money, not just any money, making a lot of money because you want a lot of money. You want to have a lot of money so that you can feel secured. You want a lot of money so that you can have a lot of options and you have a lot of freedom. But all of that is just a byproduct of you just being in alignment with who you are, what you represent, what values you have, and what niche you're going to be in. Okay? So if you stick to your strengths, you are naturally going to get better results just because of that. Now, when I say about, making that mistake of chasing the money, is because it looks so tempting to do that when you see like a really good offer. Because I'm going to tell you one issue that I had when I was starting off. I was when I joined in the high ticket sales space, the first ever role that I had, the first ever niche that I was in, basically there was this company that was doing they were doing they were targeting companies that were cutting down trees. Okay. They cut down trees and then they do like different things with these trees, right? And the company is basically just marketing to companies that chop down these trees. And I thought like the money is really good. It was really good commissions, really good, payouts. And I thought, yeah, let me do this. And it made no sense because I have no knowledge of trees besides the simple fact that they are green at the top and they're brown in the center, right? That's all I know about trees. But if you really want to be good in this specific role, it would really help if you have a lot of like background knowledge and expert takes on like everything to do with timber, the wood, the seasons, the types of trees. Like if you have this autistic level of knowledge in your craft, you're going to have so much more authority. You're going to have so much more confidence. You're going to have so much more ability to transfer the conviction that you believe in this world, right? Does that make sense? It made no sense. Like for me, like, man, it just, you just look really desperate when you're chasing the bag, when you're chasing, um, you know, trying to get more money and things like that, but you don't feel aligned from within in that world. So don't don't do that. Okay, don't make the same mistake, and don't waste your time. um if whatever, like, so that's why I say that the first thing you need to do is just know yourself. If you know yourself and you know yourself well, you know your strengths, it's going to be easier for you to find a role and find a niche that fits better for you. So that's the second reason why I say this is the best way to make money online. um, because when you align yourself with that, it's just going to be natural. It's going to be easier for results to fall in. Third is that it's very, very flexible. Okay, there's a lot of flexible roles out there that are offering full time, that are offering part time. Like, it's really, really flexible if you find a really good opportunity, especially when it fits within your own calendar. Okay, so we not only want to make money, we not only want to make, freedom of our location, but we want to have it revolve around us, around our schedule, our availability. And when you have that flexibility, right, it's so much easier for you to just live and breathe and enjoy life because it's flexible around your schedule. So that's the third reason why I say this is, um, a great, like the best method. And then the fourth one is that there's no initial startup costs. Okay, you're not paying for inventory to run a business, to hold any of your, any items. You're not running any store. You're not paying for any registrations or anything like that. There's no startup costs because you're not the business. The business and the business owner is the umbrella that you operate under. Okay, all you have to do is really just find a good role and kill the interview. And it's not like e-commerce. Like I mentioned, there's a lot of upfront costs you got to pay for. If you're vlogging, right, you got to pay for, a lot of equipments and things like that to use. um, and when I was doing YouTube commentary as well, there's a lot of technical things like microphones and all these things you got to buy before you can start making money. Okay, you don't got to do all of that if you're in high ticket sales. Okay, so that's why I believe that this is the best method, because it's great for beginners, and it's really beginner friendly. And there's not a lot that goes into it beforehand in terms of initial investments. So, how do you get started? If you're a complete beginner, you don't know anything about this world in this industry, you want to get started, you want to make money, here's how you do it. Is First thing, And we're going to go back to the point that I made about knowing yourself. Okay? The first thing you have to do is just do a personal life audit about yourself. And the question you want to answer, okay, write this down, is what am I autistically passionate in? Okay? Autistically passionate in. Like, have you ever had like an argument with somebody, and somebody wanted to debate you on a topic that you were just a fucking black belt in? Like, you knew everything there is to know about this single topic that nobody can fuck with you with on this topic. You knew in the back of your mind, like, you had this calm confidence that when you debate this fool, you're just going to obliterate them. You're just going to embarrass the hell out of them because you know your shit, right? This is a great pocket to be in. This is a great pocket to be in. Okay? Whatever you know really, really well in, okay, it's going to help in finding your role. I love to do like health and fitness. I love working out. I love training, but like, I'm not really, autistic about when it comes to like macros and micros and cutting and bulking and all the scientific, like, you know what I mean? You know how like those gym rat guys, like, they know their shit. And you know what I mean? Like, I'm not that like super dialed in when it comes to that. But there are people who are like that, right? My personal trainer before, he was like that. That's why, I worked with them, because he made all that scientific stuff, the complexity of it, he simplified it all for me to understand. Okay. The point of what I'm trying to say is that you gotta find within yourself, okay, answer that question you're asking. What am I autistically passionate in? Okay, because this is all about finding your advantage. Where are you going to have the edge over others in these niches? So I would start there if I were you, right? Starting off, what am I autistically passionate in? Or what am I skilled at or very knowledgeable about? Okay, they all fall under kind of like similar umbrella: passion, knowledge, skills, like things that you have an upper hand over other people. Can you speak a certain language? Okay, can you are you really good at doing stuff like playing guitar, or you know um, traveling and stuff like that? The point is, find out where you have the highest chance of having an authority rollover, because that's really going to give you power. Okay? That's the first step. Okay? If you want to get started in this field, the first thing is to know yourself. Second is train yourself in the sales process. Okay? I'm going to give you a high level overview of what the process is in summary. In a nutshell, it's basically, you want to know what issue a person wants solved. That's the first point. Second is, you want to paint the picture of the future. Okay? What does that future look like when that problem is solved? What is their future outcome? How does their life look like when they're not experiencing their current pain? Okay? And then thirdly is, what are the consequences of not achieving the goal? Which also means, what happens if their current pain continues on and nothing changes? Okay? And then from there, that's where the sale pretty much is made. Okay? That's the simple process in a nutshell. What is the problem someone wants to get fixed? What's going to be the ideal outcome, the future, the bright, big, bright future if that problem gets fixed, and what happens if they don't make any changes and the situation gets worse over time. Okay, that's the simple process in a nutshell. Learn this process, master it, get really good at this, okay? And then let's pause for a moment. Let's go ahead and put those two things together, okay? Like I said, know yourself and know the sales process. So, let's give an example right now. Let's say that you are a person, let's say that you're a guy who gets a lot of chicks, right? You get a lot of girls, you're really good at talking to girls, dating with them. You've had a lot of relationships, long term, short term. You're really good at the nuances when it comes to dating and making connections, being with people, yada, yada, yada. So you're going to be in this niche of dating coaching, okay? Let's just say that, for example. So you know that about yourself. You know yourself. You know your strengths. Now you are in this niche of selling dating coaching to somebody who wants to find a partner. Okay? Remember that the sales process, the first is know somebody's issue, know somebody's problem. Because people who want advice on dating, they want they want advice and skills on dating, but they're solving different issues. Because let's say that you had somebody on there who maybe they want to find a long-term partner so that they can have kids because they've been lonely and they don't have any brothers or sisters, and they've just been a lonely child their whole life. Their whole goal is to find a partner so that they can make a family and they can never feel lonely, and that is their entire thing right there. Okay, there's another guy on the other hand, let's say, doesn't care about family, doesn't care about any of those long-term relationships, doesn't believe in marriage. This person just wants to fuck, just wants to get a whole bunch of girls and just date around, and that's their life, right? Two different people, two different problems. They want the same thing. They want to connect and find partners. They want to be able to mate and romantically connect with other people. Okay? You have to, going back to the process of sales, number one, you have to know what the problem is. Okay? Because if you find the wrong problem, or if you give someone a solution to a problem that's not theirs, it's not going to work, right? It's not going to work. If I'm talking to the guy who wants a long-term relationship, they want to have a family, they want to have kids and this and that, I'm not going to pitch him according to the values of somebody who just wants to be a bachelor and just wants to be a player. Like, it's the alignment's not there, right? It's not gonna make sense to move forward. They're not gonna view it. They're not gonna see the value the same because it's not applicable in their life. Okay, so that's the first thing. Paint that picture. Paint that beautiful future pace of, okay, imagine that let's say that you find your partner, right? You find the love of your life, and you show up to her in your most confident self. You're there with her. You find her. You're talking with her. You guys are laughing. You guys are, going on dates, and you're showing up as that best version of yourself. You're confident in who you are, and she's connecting with the real you because you're not afraid to be who you are, and you find that connection with yourself, right? And then eventually you guys get married, eventually you guys have kids, and now you feel accomplished as a man who found his partner in life. He found her and he's confident in himself. Now he's about to raise a child as a new father. And you imagine that life, that version of yourself that's living that life, found his partner. He has a kid on the way. He's going to be a new father, and you are going to, continue to be that great family, and things, and it just goes on from there. Okay, you're painting that beautiful, like, tangible, real life picture that fits with their future that they want. And then the consequences is when you flip that. Okay, but then, like, what happens if things don't change? What happens if you just continue to live life not having confidence, being too shy to talk to girls, right? You're 30, 35, you're 37, 38, and this just continues to go on. Your social skills start to deplete or decline. Your confidence just goes downhill, and you look in the mirror, and one day you're 60 years old and you're still lonely. Like, what happens when you get there and things don't change, right? If you tell somebody that, who desperately wants to fix their love life, fix their social life, and fix their themselves internally, and have that confidence in themselves, if you tell somebody who desperately wants to make that internal change, what would happen if the years go by and things don't change? They're going to experience a lot of internal tension that's going to compel them to make a decision, right? And the decision that we want is for someone to make a change, right? Someone to want to be that best version of themselves, step up and make that change. Okay? So that's number 2. Train yourself in the sales process. And I just gave a whole high level overview. It gets deeper, but this is the basics of what you want to know or what you need to master. Okay? Now, now that you know yourself, now that you know the skill set that you need, okay? Third thing is to find the opportunity. And so if you were just starting out, and if I were you, the best places to go look are in Facebook communities or Discord groups, and look for an offer that is aligned with your values and your interests. Okay, these are the places you want to look: in Facebook communities and in Discord groups. Look for offers, and then start to get all these options. If I were you, honestly, I would just shoot my shot at all of the opportunities that I see. Okay, just so I got like a whole bunch of volume to work with, and then from there you can really start to vet out the best opportunities. um, but a lot of this is really going to come down to research. You're really going to have to dive in deep with um, the businesses, with the influencers, and you know it's going to be tempting, but like I mentioned, you always got to make sure you're not just chasing the money. You just have to know yourself and find an opportunity that's aligned with you. I promise you, the money is going to come. The money, the time, the freedom, and everything else that you want in your life, it's all going to come. But first, you got to start with knowing yourself, and then knowing what opportunities are aligned with yourself. Okay. And then you find those opportunities in those areas, like I mentioned, Facebook or in Discord. And then from there, you know yourself, you know your skill set, you found an offer. The fourth thing is just repetition. You just need to re- repeatedly do the process again and again, and your results are going to come a lot sooner, especially if you're in a niche that you already are in alignment with. Okay? Because the learning curve is just going to go a lot shorter and a lot lower, right? If you already have that authority in that field. Okay, and then the rest is just repetition. You just get in your reps like anything else, just like riding a bicycle. You're just getting in your reps before you can really start to get the hang of things. And then from there, when you start to take off, it's a matter of consistency. It's a matter of maintaining so that you can keep the results. Okay, because you don't want to just leave this salary man world. You don't want to just leave your job. You don't want to just change your life. You want to make sure that when you flip that switch, the switch is flipped forever. Okay? That means there's no going back. Like, you never want to dip your toes into this thinking that, you're just trying out different things. Like, you got to want to leave and get out and stay out. Stay out of this corporate world and out of that 9 to 5 so that you can be completely free with your time, with your finances, with your location, and just be completely free in that regard. um, and what is in it for you? Like, what is it in it for you to do all this, to go through all this, and to get there at the end? It's just what we just mentioned. It's having the financial strength and the independence so that you can, confidently have that calm confidence in yourself that you're secure, like financially, and like real talk, like wherever you go, wherever you step out, you know you're good. Okay, your rent's good. You know that if there was an emergency, you're good, right? You got money ready for whatever. So you got that financial strength, location freedom, because you can comfortably work from home like me, or you can also get an office space so that you can focus more. You can work when you're on the go and you're traveling, whatever. You can do that too. You have the freedom of location. And then third is you have the time back for yourself to live life. Okay, you see that guitar over there? You see that guitar over there in the back? Like that guitar, I bought that guitar, I think, over a year ago, like a year and a half ago. And when I was working my jobs, I didn't have time to play no guitar. I have time to exercise, read books, watch Netflix, do like the regular shit, the normal shit. I didn't have time to do any of that. Now I've got way more time on my hands, okay? Because it's not enough to just have the money. You want to have the money so that you can have the time, so that you can do whatever the fuck you want to do, okay? Whether it's chilling or spending time with your family, learning some hobbies, playing sports, boxing, guitar, running, whatever. Like, you have time back for yourself to actually live your life. Okay? That's the biggest flex ever, is having the money and having the time. So if you're living in Japan, which I'm assuming you are, you're a long-term visa holder. I teach long-term status holders in Japan how to build the right systems, how to maintain the right consistencies, have the right mindset, the right habits, the right skill set, and also have the right opportunities so that you can also make $10,000 online in high ticket sales, but also maintain that, okay, over time. I teach people that so that they can finally quit their jobs and really just do this and live life on their own terms. I made a school group, a community of people who is obviously living in Japan and wants to learn more about this. They want to just cut that learning curve because this took me like a couple of years for me to get to this point. It could take you like literally a couple of months. Like, no bullshit, could take you like 3 months or even less if you just apply everything in this course. Okay, because pre-sale is going to be up soon, and once the course officially launches, the price, the investment's going to be double, and it's going to go up from there. So if you're an early action taker and if you're serious about taking control of your life and really wanting to get that time back and that freedom back and take control over your overall life. If you are serious about that, I would definitely get in touch with me. You can message me at Instagram at johndean.vs. It's JOHNDEAN.VS. DM me over there on Instagram, and I get you on the pre-sale list. Um, keep an eye out. Keep an eye out on my next uploads because I'm going to start updating everything there. And other than that, just go ahead, just do exactly what I said. Write down, what am I autistically passionate in? What am I skilled at? Know yourself, know more about yourself. Go Google high ticket sales, start looking for opportunities there, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Let's go.